Yo, what's up there, guys? I just wanted to update you on some of the games I've been buying on eBay, stuff like that. Um, this is just a bunch of orders over the past month, month or so. Um, these are just Atari. I'm gonna start with like the oldest first. Atari, Star Wars. Atari, it's hard to get these in great condition. These are old. Look, there's Curtis written on that, but there's Spider-Man. Dark Chambers. These games are really bad if you've never played an Atari, like as far as graphically, but they're iconic and nostalgic. Mr. Do, this is a $10 to $20 game, surprisingly. I got them in lots. If you ever do buy Atari games, 2600, buy them in lots because you'll get a lot of extra games out of it, trust me, especially if you get lucky on a certain lot. This game, Motorcycle, this is worth 60. It ranges between like 50 and $100. And this was in a lot I got for around the lower end of that price. So I got like 20 extra games with it. So it wasn't cheap per se, but it was cool to nab this. So I have like 2 games that are worth over $60. Who knows in the future? Don't really care. I'm glad to have it, as well as in the previous Atari pickup videos I've gotten Mario's, and obviously all the other iconic ones, which some of them aren't as rare as you think. Like, you see a lot of, like, Pac-Mans and Donkey Kongs. Like, you see a lot of those games in lots. So it's been fun learning the market. If you ever come across, I think it's called Sword Quest. Okay, there's 3 editions for this type of game. There's Earth, Fire, and Water. It's like Sword Quest, Fire Realm, Earth. I can't remember exactly, but the Water Realm edition is worth like over $250. I have not seen it come up in a lot, and I'm sure if it does, whoever has it's going to know what they have, and if not, the bidders are going to bid it up to what it's worth. So that's probably like a holy grail as far as Atari. Nintendo, Final Fantasy. I'm just leaving it in the packaging because I don't know. I just love this game. It's first on NES. It's iconic. It's in great shape. You get the gist. Gauntlet 1 and 2. Iconic games. I want to get Gauntlet Legends. It's the most expensive of the 3. Surprisingly, it's for N64. So who knows? I'm going to hold off on that. Simon's Quest. Castlevania. I've been trying to get 1 and 3. They're the more expensive ones. 1 being like $25 to $40, and 3 being $35 to $50. So I was trying to like find a decent deal, but everyone always bids them up to what they're worth because they're sought after and they're iconic. Unfortunately, a lot of these NES games I had as a kid are gone, so I'm trying to get some of them back. Friday the 13th, iconic. A lot of people hate the game. I absolutely love it. I didn't notice before. There's like a bit of a scrape down the center of the picture, but it's whatever. This stuff's old. I'm not going to cry about it. Still had to pick this one up. Got a decent deal on it. It's iconic to me. I remember being very little, and the game did freak me out a little bit. Even though, like, if I go back and play it today, it's like, wow, this, I don't know. Games have come so far. Tecmo Super Bowl. I'd like to have the NES variant too. This was cheap. Figured I'd just pick it up. Batman Forever. What's the other one? Batman Returns. That's a bit more expensive. I have to get that as well. Those are missing from my childhood collection. Jurassic Park. I remember this game. This was cheap. F-Zero. I paid pretty much retail price for this. I couldn't find it for any less. This is almost in mint condition besides a little bit of a nick on the top of the picture. This game just brings back memories from my childhood, being around my brother and stuff, which he passed many years ago. Rest in peace to him. Love him to death. But I remember certain times playing this game when him and his friends were around. And I love this game, and it wasn't necessarily the easiest game ever, so I had to pick that up. Ren and Stimpy Vidiots. I remember one distinct scene in this game when you're running through the mouth, and you can see there's like teeth missing and germs attacking you and stuff. Had to have it. The other 3 editions are a bit more expensive. Actually, Buckaroos, and there's 2 editions that are like $50+ a piece, loose. So yeah, I'm holding off on those. Who knows down the line. Final Fantasy Mystic Quest. This is like the least sought after Final Fantasy. I got a decent deal on it. I figured I'd add it to the collection. I guess I didn't really play this back in the day, but I guess it's a little too Care Bear. Like, this game was meant to get new people into the RPG scene, so it wasn't nearly as hard as, like, the first iterations of Final Fantasy. But I'd still like to have it, you know, so that's cool. Final Fight. This one, I think, has a bit... Yeah, hear that? I hate that. Who knows if it works? I mean, I usually buy tested and authentic product. This one I don't think was verified tested, but I think it's authentic. So it may not work. But I had 1 and 2 back in the day. Iconic game to me. I also really like Fighting Force for PS1. That's like worth $20 to $30. I haven't picked it up yet. I don't know where my old editions are. Like, it's crazy when you go back through your storage, and like I found a lot of my old stuff, but like a lot of games keep popping up that I know I used to have, and they're just missing, man. Final Fight, iconic game. On to N64. I'll be adding to this over the next year or 2 as well. I'm slowing down a bit now. I'm holding off a bit unless I see some stellar deals. But I do have another lot. I got a lot of 25 Nintendo games for like, the whole lot was worth like $230 to $250, and I paid him less than half of that. I haggled him, and he took it. Sometimes you get lucky on that kind of stuff. He easily could have fetched $170+ for this lot. It happens rarely, but it's happened like 2 or 3 times so far in the past 2 months, where if you're on eBay enough and you make offers and blah, 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 you can get lucky. Because usually if it goes to auctions end, you get the big boys coming in, you know? You can get lucky. I've gotten lucky on some big boy auctions too. San Francisco Rush. This game was iconic. Me and my best friend back in our childhood, we played the living crap out of this. This, Rush 2, and Rush 2049, okay? If you remember these games, they were so fun back in the day and so iconic. One time, it was during the era of Rush 2, right? We went down to our local video game store and we rented Rush 2, and we didn't realize Rush 2049 released. I think it was that Friday morning or sometime that week. I don't know if we knew the game was out, but we just couldn't get our hands on it because obviously it was off the shelves. Like back, if anyone knows renting games back in the day when you'd walk into a store, new games would be cleared out, especially if they were somewhat popular, right? So you had to reserve them or get lucky. Well, someone in the store accidentally put Rush 2049 in place of Rush 2 in the case when we rented it at the time. I eventually owned all these games, but they went missing. But they had Rush 2049 in the Rush 2 casing. You know, it had like, I don't know if it had the manual or just like a fake insert. We got home. He was like taking a shower or something, and I was in the room just gaming, and I went to open it up, and I was like, oh my God, Rush 2049. And he was like screaming. And when he got out, he came out and he was like, oh my gosh. And we were so pumped to play the new game, and we didn't even, you know, we thought we'd have to wait weeks to get it. So that was awesome. And a lot of like old, you know, you look back on these games, they're not so hot nowadays because of how far games have come, but man, this game was so fun. So fun back in the day. And you got Hexen. Awesome game. Not the best graphically, but it's awesome, man. Spellcasting, swords. It's like a Doomish type game. I had to have this. I don't know where my original copy is. A little bit of staining on the back and stuff. Like, you're never going to get these perfect. But it's in great condition. Tested authentic. Hexen, awesome game. If you haven't tried this and you're, older like me, go back and play this. It's the PvP was fun too, split screen. Oh man. This one came with a case. I just left it in the case. Can you see what it is? I'm not going to pull it out too far. Perfect Dark. Oh. It's in mint condition too. I mean, it ain't like super expensive or anything. But Perfect Dark. All the time spent on GoldenEye 007, which I have behind me on my shelf. And then this dropped 2 years afterwards, I think. This was made from the same company, played almost identical to GoldenEye 007 with futuristic vibe. It was a little different in its way, but I remember the laptop gun you could throw up on the wall like a sentry and all that stuff. I plan to revisit this one. I miss sitting around with friends and playing split screen, even 4-screen with all the lag, back in the day. 4-player split screen. It's so fun, so nostalgic. I had to have this game again, so I did purchase it. So yeah, if you know GoldenEye era, Perfect Dark era, you know why that's so nostalgic. I already have these two disc only, and I have them for PC, the originals, and I have the PlayStation 1 with the manual. I don't have the box. I don't have any of the little boxes. They all got chucked, you know what I'm saying? There's nothing I can do about it. If it came with a big box and then inside it had the casing like this, it got chucked. Same with NES, SNES, N64. Those cardboard boxes got chucked. And looking back, they really add value to collections, and they're sort of scarce in a way. I mean, a lot of kids chucked them, I'm sure some older people back then saved them and savored them. The only reason why your PlayStation games and stuff are complete is because you have it came sealed in a case with the CD, so most people kept the CD in the case, right? Old Nintendo games and stuff you just stacked, even a lot of manuals got ruined and tossed out. But PC was a little different than the PlayStation era because you had the big box, which to buy the big box nowadays of these games, with the big manual insert, it's pricey, right? But I wanted to have the casing with the disc. So now I have 2 original Diablo PCs and 2 Hellfire PC discs, but I did not have the inserts here. This is a full manual, and what I paid was criminally low from what this is actually worth. So I made out great. This is the unofficial expansion of Diablo 1. And I did some backstory reading on it. Sierra Games, Half-Life, all those games back in the day, made this. And a little backstory, I guess it was Dave's Industries. Some Dave's company they own Blizzard North, right? Which Blizzard North made Diablo 1. And they produced Diablo 2. And I guess at the time, Sierra wanted to make an authorized expansion. They added a monk in this. This had Sorcerer, Warrior, and Rogue, which is like the Amazon and D2. But they wanted to make an authorized expansion. And Blizzard North was like, no way, right? Well, this company that owned Blizzard North at the time allowed it. So they got official authorization to make the expansion, even though they had no part in the original. So it's a cool backstory. I wanted to have the inserts in the back, just the original. I'd love to have the big boxes for these, but you're spending a lot more money. Surprisingly, the PlayStation 1 variant of this with the manual is worth $100. If you have the full case CIB, it's $130. The CD alone's worth $60 to $90. It fluctuates. I do have that behind me, and I don't remember exactly how I got it. I don't know. Maybe a friend. Maybe I just had it and I didn't play it much because the PC was always king to me. So these are cool to have. I'm very happy with these. They're not super expensive, and I feel like in the future, PC games will be They're just not as iconic as console because a lot of people relate to consoles, right? A lot of people didn't have PCs back in the day. Like when I was 10, 11, 12, I had a PC and I PC gamed all the original, all the OGs. But a lot of people, they had consoles, you know, Nintendo, Super Nintendo. Like they grew up with the PlayStations and all that. So like a lot of the console games are holding a higher premium, in my opinion. Like I said, the big box variants of these still go for decent amounts, but a lot of them are banged up and not in the greatest condition. But I'm about done blabbing here. I thought these were cool and amazing. I did not have this D1 insert. It's the front insert there. This had the disc. So I had to pick these up. And Diablo 2 Resurrected comes out next week. So I'm ready to freaking play it. Come check me out on Twitch, Wordism. I'll be on it a lot. I'll be making content for it. So yeah, hopefully you like this haul. I have another 25, I think it'll be like 26 to 27 games total in my next lot. I won an eBay auction. That'll probably be the last game video for a while. I'm going to settle down on collecting unless some really good deals come up, right? Like the issue is right now the prices are getting higher, you know, and buying complete in box is just, I'm not going to be, I'd rather buy a loose game for $5 to $15 than spend $50 to $60. And then the higher end games, you're looking at hundreds of dollars, right? And don't even get me talking about sealed. I would love to, my cat's going crazy. I would love to, you know, have a huge collection of this stuff. And back in the day, if I was a bit older and I wasn't so young, I would have kept a lot of that stuff. You know, those boxes, man, just got tossed almost immediately from what I remember. Like no one cared about those cardboard boxes, you know. Even the manuals, you look at them once, twice, boom, gone. People that were like in their later teens probably appreciated that stuff more. Me being like pre-teen and then young teen, I didn't care. Thankfully, I have a lot of my console stuff CIB, but that's just because they're discs. Like I knew I had to keep the discs contained. Like carts like this, you just let them sit out, man. You know what I mean? So I'm done rambling. Check out I have a bunch of videos up with collectibles and whatnot. I don't really get any views. I don't care. I'm just documenting. It's for fun. Take it easy, guys. Love you.